And Canada's laws on assisted suicide are changing, and the number of people making use of the practice is on the rise. A state senator from Montana tells us the practice is also making its way into the U.S.
In 2015, Canada's Supreme Court struck down the country's law banning assisted suicide. The court gave Parliament 12 months to write a new law. Patients would have to be adults, and they would have to be suffering from an incurable medical condition or one that causes intolerable suffering. The law went into effect in June 2016. Rupa Subramanya, an Ottawa-based reporter, says not all people who make use of the law are actually sick.
There are people literally applying for MAID in Canada because they can't afford, they face a financial shortfall of $200 a month. The people are just gravitating to MAID as an option to get out of their circumstances.
She says the law's provisions might be expanding.
So now under Track 2 MAID, people who are eligible for MAID whose death can't be shown to be foreseeable, but they're suffering from, say, an incurable disability or illness which causes their life to be intolerable. Say you're type 2 diabetes and you just do not want to keep taking insulin shots anymore, and that's intolerable. And they believe that their condition cannot be relieved under any other with any other treatment that they find acceptable. So they become eligible for Track 2 MAID.
She added that the government is planning to expand the law even further.
Now what's happening now is that next year, March of 2023, it's going to be further expanded where mental illness becomes the sole underlying condition for medical assistance in dying.
The practice of assisted suicide may be rising in the future, not only in Canada, but also here in the U.S. We spoke with Montana State Senator Caaral Glim, who has sponsored 2 unsuccessful bills to clarify an existing state law to outlaw assisted suicide. Right now, he says, some people in the state are using a legal loophole.
I can give you an example of someone who relatives decide that they want their elderly relative to, if they go down the wrong path of pushing this in a direction that is not moral. So let's say that they stand to get a large inheritance, and they would like it sooner rather than later. So they conspire with the doctor, and they are able to have their elderly relative, go through this assisted suicide process.
You can watch the full episode with the entire interview on The Nation Speaks at ntd.com.